I've been seeing a lot of stay positive kind of things floating around on the internet. I've noticed that when I've posted something like on Instagram about an unfortunate situation that I've had, or you know, a negative comment that I experienced that made me feel some type of way, a lot of people are always like, stay positive. When I was dealing with depression, it's just the stay positive comment that seems to ring out whenever someone is dealing with something that is unpleasant. Now, I have a problem with that. I don't have a problem. I don't agree with that. I personally feel as though telling someone to stay positive does more harm than it does help. Staying positive sounds good in theory, when in fact staying positive is very dismissive. Staying positive invalidates someone's feelings. Staying positive invalidates reality. Staying positive is embedded in avoidance. Staying positive dismisses you from being present in whatever circumstance is in front of you. When you tell someone to stay positive, what you're telling them is, oh, forget about the bad stuff. Don't think about the bad stuff. Don't dwell on the bad stuff. Don't observe the bad stuff. Don't learn from the bad stuff. Just stay positive. So that means that you're taking this person from this moment right now, which can hold a really valuable lesson, and telling them to either go into a past situation in which they're positive, so just go back to that feeling, that moment that you had, or just look to the future for when this uncomfortable or not so good moment is occurring. Like, just don't think about that right now. Just think about either the past or the future. That does no good. There's always a lesson in everything, even the uncomfortable situations, even the unpleasant situations. So when you tell someone to stay positive, you're essentially telling them that your feelings right now, fuck them. It doesn't matter if you don't feel happy right now. What matters is that you should feel happy. Which sounds crazy, but that's what people are in theory saying. You're not allowing people to feel how they feel in this moment by telling them to stay positive. You're not allowing people to process how they feel by telling them to stay positive. You're not allowing people to navigate and understand what is happening so that it doesn't happen again, or so that they can effectively maneuver out of it when it does happen again. You're not allowing them to grow in this moment because you're telling them to stay positive. That can also be triggering. I know it's been triggering for me because growing up, my feelings were always invalidated. Like, if I felt like if someone hurt my feelings, it's like, oh, that's just them, whatever. And no one really sits and listens to me. No one held space for me to express how I felt, to get it out, to wrap my head around it, and to move forward. Instead, I was told it doesn't matter, just sweep it under the rug and get over it. That's what you're telling people when you tell them to stay positive. All in all, when someone is going through a situation that you think is unpleasant to them, or that may even trigger you, it's best not to tell them to stay positive. I know that most people are saying that to help, but a lot of times it doesn't help. It, like I said, does more harm than good. So next time someone is going through something that, you know, you see or you hear or you witness, try asking them, well, like, you know, how do you feel? Is there anything that I can do to help? Or, you know, do your best to give them guidance not based on your perception or your past. Because people often give advice based on their lives and what has happened to them, what they've experienced, what they've witnessed, what they've heard, what they've learned. So do your best to check out of ego in that moment and to check in with that person who is going through that negative situation, because we need the negative to get the positive. Just literally just like a picture. I know that's like everyone always uses that, but you need the negative to get the positive. And in order to get the positive, you have to have the negative. It's duality. It is balance. It is needed. So yeah, don't allow the person to dwell in, you know, the negative situation. I don't want to say don't allow them to, because that's also taking away that person's power. But, you know, do your best to support them in a way where, you know, you're doing what you can to keep them from sinking too deep because you genuinely care, but also allowing them to learn how to swim. Because I know a lot of strong swimmers can swim really strong because they've been in some turbulent waters and they needed it to build the strength to be able to swim in, you know, the easy peasy Caribbean crystal blue waters. So let's do our best to stop telling people to stay positive. Let's do our best to simply hold space for others in absolute love and allowing them to go through their situations in order to learn, in order to grow, in order to transcend, and in order to ascend. And that's it for today. Peace and love, y'all.